Hello, I'm going to try and keep this video very short. I'm just going to really quickly go over stuff. So I've got delete key now, which is nice, and I've also got a key that allows flipping stairs horizontally, which is extremely useful because now I can almost double the number of pieces that I had. I've also added this kind of new shape, which is a ramp, which means a unit can either go up or continue onward. So it represents like a fork in the level, which is extremely useful for maybe having loops in the level and so forth. An alternative to ladders anyway. I've decided that ladders are quite dangerous because while a unit is using a ladder, it can't really also be using a weapon. And also you can't really see what you're climbing into, the floor above, until you get there. So much safer to use stairs. So I need to have the ability to have forks with effectively staircases as well, which is what this ramp room represents. So I'm going to run this now. So I've taken like a run animation, idle animation from, I can't remember what it's called now, what the site's called. But this is what you can see here. This is like the unit running. I've got this other one here. I haven't currently got a unit selection graphic, but that doesn't matter so much. I just wanted to be able to test the movement and so forth because this is going to impact some. I need to start testing this kind of stuff to see if it impacts anything. One of the things I wanted to look at was firing and aiming, because the units are going to have to, it's not just going to be a single animation, they need to be able to point the rifle at an arbitrary point. So in order to show this, I'm just going to quickly add a cube basically to use for target practice. I'll make it about 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Now where is it? Maybe it's too small. No, it's here, okay. If I put this into the corridor, so I've kind of wired up these units so that they have an aim target field, and if I set this to something, and he can even set it to another unit, it will start firing. So I'm going to set this to that cube that I just created, and then this unit now will start firing. Now if I move this cube, you can see the unit rotates the rifle to face it. Actually, there's a bit of an alignment issue there. This is all very rough at the moment. If I face this direction, you can see that the unit hasn't actually turned around. I'm thinking of adding a turning animation as well. It might actually work better from this angle. I think you can see that the unit is rotating the weapon. So the way this is working is kind of backwards than what intuition would suggest, in that it starts off from the target and the rifle is actually controlling everything. The rifle rotates itself towards the target, and then the way I've built the rifle is it has a left hand grip and right hand grip, which, as they suggest, are where the left hand and right hand go, and then using IK, the model's hands effectively glued to those positions, and this creates the illusion when this target is moved and the rifle rotates and the hands are re-glued, it creates the illusion that it's the character that's actually doing the aiming. I can kind of show this by, if I drag the rifle away, the character seems to be desperately trying to grab the rifle that's just out of reach. Now it all comes down to making it look good, comes down to positioning the rifle correctly. You can kind of put it in the wrong place. It's got to be in a position. It seems, at least for this game, when you're zoomed out, I can kind of get away with a bit more, I think. There's a certain position in which it looks okay for quite a few rotations. Now obviously if I rotate over here, you get this weird kind of sort of holding the gun a bit like a gangster. Whoa, and that just goes crazy. But at that point the unit should actually rotate the body as well. So there's some sort of calibration that has to be done with this stuff, and unfortunately I suspect it's going to be different for different character models and potentially different weapons as well. Almost certainly different weapons are going to require different hand spacing. One issue I've got here is that the rotation point of the weapon is the center, whereas I think it should be more the shoulder. So that's one possible fix. So I'm not really specifically looking at. I created the firing effects just to be able to visualize it, but really the additional things that have to be done here is there's no recoil. It's using the idle animation, which is why it's kind of slowly rotating, it's slowly moving, whereas it should be the foot stance should be more aiming, or maybe near more crouched down. And the muzzle flash, there needs to be muzzle flash added. At the moment it's kind of just relying on just the actual plasma ball, which I think I've made too large. So I'm not going to be looking at combat next anyway, but this was a necessary thing to actually test out. Now that I know that it can be done, I'll leave this for now, and I probably need to start getting doors and elevators working, almost certainly. So yeah, that's it for now. Thank you for watching.